far as I can.
No, I want to say something.
You should let Shayla play the game.
Okay, I would like to call the meeting to order at 5:10 for Port Orford-Langlois School District. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome all staff and visitors. And at this time, I would like to state that in order to speak during public comment, please sign up in the chat portion of the Zoom or at the sign up sheet with the administrative assistant at the physical meeting. Moving forward to agenda changes.
We do have three. At 5.3.1 is a senior trip request for out-of-state travel. At 5.3.2, there is a request to start a chapter of Turning Point, creating a club at the Pacific High School. And 5.7.2, we will be sharing a budget committee meeting calendar. And those are the three changes.
Forward then to the consent agenda.
We're in the minutes for the January 12th work session aren't done, so we'll have to put that off until next month. I'm sorry about that.
The work session, but we have the December 15th and the amended November 17th minutes in the packet.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda, including the December 15 meeting minutes and the amended minutes from November 17 meeting.
Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Yes, in our previous couple of meetings, we've discussed trying to do something about how time is allotted in our agenda, okay, to make more time for discussion, I guess, as opposed to having reports read to us that we've already got printed copies of.
Yes.
And so if we moved some of those reports to the consent agenda instead of where they are now, it wouldn't negate us the opportunity to ask about a specific item on one of those reports, would it? We just ask for discussion.
I believe that's true. Would it, I know when it's set in its own place, then you've got the opportunity to ask questions.
I think we were just all wanting to move away from just, we already read the packets before we
Yes.
read them, and we don't need it read to us again during the meetings.
No, appreciate that. I think that will be helpful and make our meetings move along quicker. Just want to make sure that if, like in my report, if something comes up between the time that I publish it to you and then the time we're in our meeting, just want to make sure we have the opportunity administratively to share those things when there are changes. But Stephanie, do you have any knowledge of that on whether those reports could go directly into the consent agenda?
Good, yeah.
Okay.
I construct the agenda anyway that you want within parameters, but I think we could look at that.
And maybe we put it all in the consent agenda and we just have one line item in the reports, updated administrative reports. And if there are none, we can say none. If we have any updates, we'll be brief, move on from there.
We can still ask questions even during the consent agenda. Right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to ask this point so that going forward, if we decide we want to do that, we're not lining ourselves out of an opportunity to ask questions or examine something at that point. So I want to.
Good question.
I guess my next question would be, which of those reports would you want in consent agenda? Because in order for us to do that and make that change, you as a board have to request it and agree on it.
Let's discuss that another time. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't setting ourselves up for a theoretical if it doesn't work. Okay.
We did talk about it during our workshop, and I think that we are looking for opportunities to streamline how our administrators are able to participate so that they are not asked to remain longer than they need to.
Fair enough.
But did we make a motion and vote on that?
No, and I don't hear that now.
I think we just talked about it.
Right.
Because we had previously, like a year or two ago, we had asked not to read the reports and
Yeah.
to just give us any highlights or anything that's changed. And then we kind of moved away from that. And so we were just wanting to move back to that. So I don't, does that need a motion?
I don't think it,
The only thing I think would need a motion is if you're going to move those reports into the consent agenda rather than having them stand alone on their
I
own.
don't have to do today. I just wanted to ask that one question. We'll discuss that.
yeah.
I have a motion to accept our consent agenda and a second. Had some discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor? Unanimous? Moving forward to item 4, public input. Do we have anyone signed up in person?
No.
Do we have anyone signed up in the Zoom?
We do not on Zoom. We do not. And nobody on YouTube.
Thank you. Moving on to our educational spotlight. Well,
Tonight we have, oh, sorry.
yeah, no, please, it looks as if it's percussive though.
Yeah, drum roll for yourself, please.
Rusty's gonna help me out because
Hey. We haven't working.
I like having something else for you to look at than just me. This is I'm not a big public speaker, even though I talk to all day long. They're different people. That's only about keeping them on track for 10 minutes. So I was told I have 10 minutes, so I probably can do this. Yeah. No.
No, just keep talking.
Let's keep talking. Okay. So,
was that?
we're good. So I had small things, but maybe it's good that I have a lot of time because I came in last year to share about the naked run that we adopted, which is Tools of the Mind. And so I had several trainings and it was the first year of learning what I was doing with it. I really like it. It connects to a lot of other ways of teaching kindergarten I've done in the past. I think it's a lot like a classic kindergarten. It's much more play-based, a lot more emphasis on social emotional. The kids interact. They're not told to just sit in their seat. They aren't just given workbooks and expected to know how to turn the page and get to the right page and do all the things. So we're building those foundations with Tools of the Mind and I'm loving it. Last year was a big learning year for me as well, though. So, I'm scaffolded in my own way while I'm scaffolding the kids and just a few steps ahead of the game. But I was asked to report in again. So just a quick overview, what Tools of the Mind is. So it was mainly developed by a man named, last name Vygotsky, and he was a Russian psychologist, and he lived from 1896 to 1934. But a lot of, like all other educational theorists, it still completely applies. And if nothing else, I think as the educational pendulum swings, like I was saying, we're like, oh, wait, that was good stuff. So I get back to that because it seemed to be working. And kindergarten is definitely the long game. You put in all this time and effort and you kind of think you're crazy and is any of it working? And then 2 years down the road, you find out, oh, wait, it did. These kids did get the foundation they needed. And so that's a little scary as a kindergarten teacher. You're like, I hope this is working. But that being said, with Tools of the Mind, I feel like I already see it's working every year. And this works because seeing kids just makes it so much better. And I also have to get everything. Okay, so it's a much smaller class this year. Last year we had 25-ish kids, and it changed as the year went, but while I still setting it up. In Tools of the Mind concept, which is Vygotsky's theory, the children construct knowledge using cultural tools that become tools of the mind later on. The children learn to play and play to learn. Just like cue you. Is that what we're doing? Okay, cool. So dramatic play is a super powerful tool that supports children's development in all the areas. So I know you don't know these kids, but it just kind of gives you a feel of what it looks like in the class. Self-regulation development is intentional and it's continuous in the classroom. The classroom activities are designed to promote social, emotional, and self-regulation development. So a lot of hands-on stuff and a lot of learning the processes. Children develop the ability to use different mental tools, go for it, Rusty, at different times and ages. Their tool chests aren't filled all at once, but gradually. So again, that's that long game. Call it scaffolding, or I used to just call it building the right foundation so that they're really strong. It's a slow building process. It definitely doesn't happen overnight. That's the teacher anxiety most days. Am I doing this right? Children learn to acquire mental process what by sharing or using it when interacting with others. So for example, this is the class ground rules we came up with, every day. Only after a period of shared experience can the child internalize and use the mental process independently. So that's why in a kindergarten classroom, especially. Hold on.
Yes.
Noise, busyness, or if you think back on just hanging out with any young kids, watch me, look at this, watch what I'm doing. That's that check-in. So in a tools of the mind classroom, it's geared a lot more towards allowing that, encouraging it, so they have buddy up. They really need to connect with each other. Mental tools enable humans to plan ahead, create complex solutions to problems, and work with others toward a common goal. So that's kind of the background. Any questions about concept of the tools of the mind? Okay. Yeah. Get excited once I start talking about it. So last year, when I was given this awesome new curriculum, which was my year of scaffolding as well. There was always so much to learn. It was a huge class. I guess I kind of talked about this. And we ended up splitting the class into two groups, which was really scary because we ended up doing half days with kindergarten. And it ended up being fantastic. Halfway through the year, we merged them back together again. They survived. They didn't seem to be at a deficit. It worked still, as far as we can tell. I mean, we'll know more in 2 years, but this is this year's class. Rusty's joking, giggling because his lovely wife was in my class last year. So I've spoken with a first grade teacher. So this is my research on how it went. And she says that the first graders are a very regulated group. They're one of the more ready to learn and cooperative classes she's had in some time. She feels they entered the first grade with a solid foundation of school-ready skills, and classroom and behavior management are less of a necessary focus for her this year. So to me, that's a huge one, because handing them over, expected to sit in a desk in their own space, manage their own physical tools, listen, that's a big one. How do you get them ready for that? And sometimes you have to be messy before you can get them ready for the quiet and calm, is the way I feel. But I'm a messy teacher. Go for it, Rusty. The art teacher has them about half hour a day, made several positive comments about their ability to learn, listen, and self-regulate, as well as other substitute teachers. So the self-regulation piece, I feel like, is key, which is the tools part. You can't get to the education or the academics, I guess, until you do the self-regulation part. Lisa Wendell shared, she's probably hearing this, but I didn't actually ask to quote you, but I always think of this in my heart, is that watching the kinders the beginning of last year and then watching them go up to graduation, just blew her mind, and she smiles when she thinks about that. And yes, kids grow all year long, no matter what you're putting into them and whatever curriculum, whatever you're doing, but still, she saw the change happen. Okay, go for it. I'm not in trouble here, but I'm not a big fan of the iReady diagnostics, especially for kindergarten. It is a requirement, and I understand it. We need to assess our kids. We need to know where they are. This is not from last year. This is from a few years ago. We were not doing the tools. Not saying tools fix this, but this is a real moment in time trying to get through the iReady diagnostics. And it's hard for kindergartners to sit and do it and to be expected. It's a snapshot in time, and then we're putting a lot of weight on that. Tools has the assessment more built in. It's all part of the everyday. I see it in a different way, and I can document it differently. However, still doing the iReady. We did it last year, and it was the strongest growth I'd had since teaching Driftwood. So we had, it still doesn't always make sense to me, but 81% in math and 100% in. So that was pretty awesome. Okay, go for it, Rusty. Okay, so all it sounds wonderful, and I feel it really is. Please know, as a teacher, I will forever be tormented about all the variables that go into it. Like I said, I don't know that it's just the curriculum doing it. I don't know all the parts. There's the group dynamics, there's what they go home to. All the different adult influences, all the different curriculums. We have equity going on right now, which is amazing. It could be the cycle of the moon or how hangry y'all are. There's so many things you could blame it on or contributed to. But I do feel like Tools of the Mind is an incredible contributor. The now first grade class seems to be thriving. Just go for it. Let's do a few more because these kids are awesome. So here they are doing handwriting. We did our own stone soup. Go for it. And here they are. They came up with a whole plan, what we would need, lists. This is how it should look. It needs to be fancy. We need flowers. We need candles. And so they did it all. We read multiple stone soup. It's not part of the curriculum, but they work together. Whereas old kindergarten curriculums, it felt so disjointed and you'd have all these different parts to it. It feels like a real kindergarten classroom to me now. Doing different crafts, a lot more hands-on is allowed. This is a tools game. They're giving each other directions, which is one of my favorites. One person has the picture and the other one can't look at it. And then he has to tell him, no, put the blue block in the middle and put the green bear on the right. And we get there and it's really exciting. And I get still thinking about it. Steve's like, oh, I know, I heard about that game. Let's see, let's do a few more. Here we are setting up for Japan. They go to different parts of the world. We use the Magic Treehouse books. It's really exciting. They get really into it, a lot of dramatic play, chopsticks, and all of it's included. So then they'll write sentences about it. And there's writing and math and science and social studies all embedded into it. Writing his name really well. This is big. And I can still incorporate worksheets for those that like worksheets. This is the writing. This is the beginning of the year. And I had to write all the words for him. I'm going to be a baby bear. We talked about lines for each word. And this is now, I know you can't read it, but he's saying the Jack and Annie or Peanut. It's there. We've come a long ways. He's writing all the letters. This was their self-regulated. They came up with lists so that you could go into the ninja cave. We need a system. We need some ground rules. This is too busy. We're going to make a list, and they wrote their names so nicely. And then they took charge of it. They had a timer. Whose turn is it? Okay, it's been 3 minutes. It's time to get out of the ninja cave. And when they take turns, they stop at Dusty. So a lot of amazing self-regulation. See, I've talked enough. I should go. Of course, each year in kindergarten, it's like opening a really fun surprise box. You never know what you're going to get. And I'm just going to put a little plug in there is that, especially having Rusty's lovely wife last year, even though she technically wasn't an aide, she was trained in the tools curriculum, and that was invaluable. Like I couldn't lean on her like an aide. She knew what was going on, and she knew where this crazy ship was trying to sail. And I think that's been the hardest struggle for me this year is that I feel like I'm the only one and the only one in the building, even with some little PD, is that this is going somewhere, I promise. And so this is Michelle. She's another wonderful aide. She's trying to catch on, but she's going to be gone soon because she's going to go back to doing that grade. So having that solid aide who can help manage and knows what we're doing and why we're doing it has been the hardest part this year. Go for it. So again, it's a surprise. It's an exciting box you get to open every year. But I know that I have more confidence that the approach will pay off. Hard moments during the day. The tools recognizes that, especially kindergarten, it's like playing one game, and being it already, I think. Was that what we're reporting on? Yeah. Some kids saying happy birthday. Thank you, Rusty. Good.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you for listening. And thank you for letting me do tools. It's been a game changer for me and.
We have one teacher. We have one teacher in the building, trained and
Yes, it's the
classified
second year with
professional.
juniors. Yep.
Thank you, Kim.
We have others that are trained or considering training.
We have consideration to move it up into first and second grade. That curriculum is brand new. And so we're looking at that. All of this curriculum was provided to us in conjunction with local Head Starts and classroom in Gold Beach through the Early Learning Hub. So that's where we became aware of it and started putting it in place. And through there, we've learned that it does expand up. We have not done that officially yet, but as you heard Ms. Fleming share, they're noticing the difference in those kids and how regulated they are, how ready they are to be in the classroom which is different than in past years. So seeing that difference is a big motivator. So planning on having it continue to expand.
Board have any questions or insight?
Bunch of happy looking kids.
And if the ability to regulate within the classroom is where we're seeing, it seems, the most disruption, then I'm grateful that she's seeing it affected.
Well, and one more comment, having the first grade teacher, having her recognize that difference in those kids, and they were students in a kindergarten classroom where we started them out all together and split them apart at the beginning of the year after we had started because we had so many dysregulated students. And so to have that population move forward, make those gains, and then come back and realize those gains and demonstrate them in class after summer, that I think speaks a lot to the program as well.
Great. Thank you. Moving forward to item 5, the reports. Go to 5.1, our student representative report. Welcome.
Hi, I am Mary Jane Lewis and I am the student representative for the board. And I don't have a super long and detailed report this time, but I'm gonna have a much more well-prepared one next time, trust. But I did have 2 highlights that I thought of that are going really well right now in the school. So our clubs have been going really strong, but specifically our Peaceful Schools program, which is our Interact clubs, it's one of the semi-sections of Interact. They had their first time going to the elementary school this year, and I wasn't able to go today, sadly, but Lauren here did and a lot of other students, and they said it went really well and the kids had an extremely fun time. And I'm really happy that our school is going forward with that because these children absolutely love it. And my little cousin Madeline,
I went to her classroom
she's
today.
2nd grade now, getting old, but she absolutely loves this. It's one of her favorite parts that high school students come down and do. And I feel like it's really important for our youth. And the next thing that I thought was going really happy is that on Fridays, I've noticed that students have been really happy that this year we have a work experience option instead of having to do 3 electives. The kids that want to do work experience, they're really happy that our school offers that. And also with our new semester, how I noticed that some student, how the administration noticed that kids weren't really showing up to certain classes last Friday during the Friday electives, and they implemented some new Friday electives. Kids have been really happy about that, and there's been a lot of positive feedback about that. And especially because there's 2 culinary classes now, and now we also have a ceramics class that's actually so cool. And kids have been loving that type of stuff. And yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Does the board have any comments or questions?
I do, and it's a point of order. This is MJ's first school board meeting, and
Yes.
do we have a swearing in or anything of formally accepting her as a part of the board? Because that was on the
Just wrote that
agenda a
down.
couple of months ago.
And I'm
And
wondering.
I do not have the formal verbiage to do that. So unofficial first visit, and we'll make it official next month.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Okay. Is it a little test?
Yeah.
No, yes, you have to be able to repeat after me.
So
Wait.
MJ, with NHS, you've already done this.
Yeah, I do it for NHS, so I should be chilling.
Thank
We
you.
give you all the answers.
Except your name. You're expected to know that.
It's gonna be kind of tricky.
Yeah, so you won't make it in if you say, I say your name. It doesn't matter.
Thank you for the point of order. Well taken. You're right.
Welcome. And welcome back.
Thank you. Is there anything further from the board for our student representative?
How was homecoming?
I was able to attend because it was her birthday and we already made prior arrangements that day. But I heard it went really well. There were some really cute pictures like posted across Instagram and stuff. It looked really fun.
Thank you. And moving on to our superintendent's report.
I can have you take one, pass one down. So y'all made the decision to not repeat what was in the written report, and you're just getting the written report tonight, so you haven't read it. So I will try to be brief. First off, under correspondence, we had a neighbor at Driftwood that was having some issues with one of our lights, and Ms. Wendell is working on that with Chad and the neighbor to get that fixed, so it's no longer an issue. So that should be taken care of very soon. Other piece that I have for you tomorrow night from 5:30 to 7, there's dinner and an input session for community engagement at Driftwood in the cafeteria. So that's tomorrow night. And then we will have the same exact format and program happen the following Wednesday, February 4th, same time, 5:30 to 7. Dinner again as part of the gathering of information. The topics, there will be table groups, and we have support from the ESD to facilitate those and take notes. We're going to be discussing a 4-day versus a 5-day school week option, which is a little different discussion than we had last year with some changes from the calendar committee working on that 4-day option. Discussing local preschool options and needs. Continuing the discussion about a potential bond and what kind of things need to be taken care of with facilities here in our district and how much that would cost, gathering input on thoughts there. We are required to do integrated guidance and share about the different programs that we have in place with High School Success and the Student Success Act, as well as our early childhood literacy funds. So we'll have information about where those dollars are spent and get input there. And then there will be another table for just topics of interest if there are items on people's mind that are not covered in those 4 topics. So that is tomorrow night, starting at 5:30 at Driftwood, and then Wednesday, the 4th, same time, 5:30 at Driftwood. We have babysitting available, so that is an option. And we're hoping to have a good crowd come out and share so we can move forward. My work is continuing on the same items, similar items as the month before. Budget and calendar development are biggies. We do have fencing for the orchard coming in here in a week or 2. And then Ms. Tomko and the horticulture class will be installing the trees for the orchard towards the end of the month, towards the end of February, early March. Let's see. Enrollment, I lied on my report. We are not at 223 students. We're up to 26. So it's not a huge piece, but most other districts are falling behind, and we are now 3 above what we projected. So we're right in there with those predictions. State and federal budget update. We're still waiting for the state. They dropped the bomb at the OSBA conference or around that time that there would be a 2.5% to 5% cut. They are still talking about what those might be, so we don't know the specifics yet, but we are working to incorporate that potential into our own budget. Federal budgets, there's been a lot of talk about funds not coming in and not being appropriated and approved. And at least for this year, all the legal challenges and other pieces have gone past, and the funding that we have from the feds is intact. Next year is still up in the air, another story, so we'll wait and see what happens. But at least for this fiscal year, we're good there. And we need to be good because I've shared before, we have some big ticket items in the maintenance department. On campus here, we have our own sewage treatment plant, which is quite a bit more extensive than a septic system. It is in the midst of having some issues and being filled and in need of repair, trying to work with the county and our potential housing project to see if there's a way to take care of both same time. And they have provided someone who works on sewage treatment plants like that to come and consult with us, help us determine what the exact needs are, what potential costs are, and then also has some ideas on potential grants if something doesn't pan out in that longer range planning for the housing development across the street for teachers. And then a list of different things, the community meetings again, bonds and ballots, Friday, February 6th. I know there's a few of you that are headed to that with me, and we'll get some more information on what that might look like. And then that happens after both the input meetings from the community. So I should have information from that to share with you all when we get there. There is a trivia night senior fundraiser on Thursday, February 12th at Mr. Ed's. So come help support to have that right.
Yeah.
All right. And then Monday, the 16th, there's no school President's Day. Our next board meeting because of that is on the 23rd instead of the 16th, still 5 o'clock right here. Questions or anything?
Is the water system all in place for the orchard?
Irrigation is one of the pieces that will be added. We use irrigation from the pond down here to water our fields, and that water will be incorporated to help those trees get through year 1, 2, and hopefully after that they are good on their own. But we will have an irrigation system in place.
How tall is the fence?
8 feet.
Nice.
And that's inside of the 10 feet. So we already have an area over there that is fenced and keeps elk and deer out really well, but we have goats. And so we have to keep our goats from eating our trees.
That's real. Board have any other questions or comments for the superintendent?
Congrats on, well, I think, congrats or condolences on the Rotary Club presidency thing. It's certainly evidence of engagement in our community, but gosh, perhaps you're gonna have to wear.
Well, there was the person that was going to take that on next year was unable to meet responsibilities for personal reasons, and they have been trying to get me to do it since I got here. And I had so many offers of help, and it's an emergency piece. I said I would do it. It's a year commitment. But they understand that if there's an emergency here, I won't be there. But we have a great partnership. You heard the girls talking about Interact and our Peaceful Schools program. Interact is the student version of Rotary Club, and our Rotary Club that I participate in here, as everybody knows, they have a hand in everything that is community oriented, with scholarships, with funding, with helping people in need of taking care of the yards or moving. We just do a lot of great things, and we have a really good partnership with them. So this will extend that.
I am looking through my millions of pictures of our winter conference for OSBA, where you were up as part of that interview panel as a Rotary member. And I'm still looking because I have lots of pictures. I made a trip to visit my grandchildren. So that took up a lot of space. But when I find it, I'm sending it on to whoever the vice president is of it, so that they can heavily promote it.
Thank you. Thank you or condolences. It's fine.
Thank you very much. The board satiated. Moving on to 5.3, our principal's report. Welcome.
I can summate sort of what my report is by out, but basically I wanted to welcome our new counselor. Learning transcripts and students and things like that. So she's been very thankful that she is now here with us. We are also in the midst of scheduling for second semester. So we've been adding on Friday classes, and we've also been meeting with students and talking about bringing in more electives. And so I did share with you a rubric of different content of what we're looking for. And that's the board when we had met with the student online curriculum committee, and we just sort of put together like a rubric of 1 to 5, what it was that they felt that they liked and why, what it brought to the school. And then I was just handed those 2 little white sheets that I will not be able to read from here from Miss Johnson's room. And she gave 2, and Pam, I don't know if you want to share that, 2 different surveys on the 23rd and the 26th of which of these classes, if we had different electives or AP or honors or dual credit, things like that, that we're looking for that kids would do. And so, and I can keep them up or pass them around, but the blue is everything that they would like. And so right now they are doing dual credit in chemistry, but they have a need for different history, world religions, if they want to become a teacher or not, public speaking. And so it's just a quick synapse of just different variations of juniors, sophomores, freshmen at the high school and what they would like to see. And so I'm happy to pass that around too. Just to say a little bit more about this, and I did put on the rubric what it is that I'm kind of wanting as the school administrator to, and that's because it gives options in at the high school as well as in the family academy, because oftentimes what you'll find with online is that students will move, say, November and February when they're feeling kind of tired or more burnt out, and they have this static union of, oh, I just want to be home, or, oh, I'm tired, or, oh, I'm feeling this or whatnot. And so by having a lot of the same curriculums, we're able to keep them in alignment of not having to reposition them or they've missed something, it can stay in tune. The other thing is I looked at curriculums that were used around here with schools that are kind of our competitors like Winter Lakes and put that on here as well. So if we have kids that we either lose to those areas or that they want to come into us, again, we can easily transfer their license and then they're back in our building. And so, and I have experienced 5 years as an online teacher 10 years ago, and was part of a school where it really launched and took off by having opportunity, by having choice, listening to students, what they want, and really being able to pick what they are desiring to learn. And so the current curriculums that we have a CELIS and we have BYU. Those have been prior approved, and they don't accompany everything that the students want, and they have different formats. So some may be more visual, some may be more auditory. So we had the students look at these different curriculums and then came in for lunch and put this together. And so you can see the averages, and it's also on the rubric that I have submitted in today's principal's report. So for different reasons, these are the things they're looking for. And by having at least 2, which in my opinion, I like the E-dynamic and the Edgenuity. The Edgenuity is Odyssey where Coquille, and that's where Winter Lakes are coming in, and we can really grow for our district, to be honest with you, and be a magnet school for choice. That's really how I see that. Alex by far is the best math program. I worked with that for 5 years at the previous school, and they use different aspects of Alex for different tests to get into universities. So if you're saying 7th grade math, it's going to have the entire Common Core curriculum for 7th grade math, but it's also going to go back, and if they miss anything in 3rd grade or 5th grade, they're going to have a pie chart and it completes all of it. So their learning is really whole, and then they're ready to move on. You can see the other curriculums that they did not want as well. Strong Mind, Florida Virtual and FlexPoint are the same. I've used it in the past, but I felt it was, when I looked at the administrative portion, which is again in that rubric, I think they're asking too much for what it is when we're looking at the comparisons for that. The other ones that the students really liked is Corone Learning. It's the 3rd one towards the end on the right. And that one is PE. So we have a lot of kiddos that when they came in, not a lot, but several kiddos that when they came in, they're older and they don't want to do PE with freshmen or different times. And so it's something they can do during the summer, and they can put together their own curriculums, and it teaches them physical fitness and the things that they really like to do, and not just, oh, let's do this and initiate it and check it off. And so to me, I think that that's a much preferred base of learning. Also, again, since I've been a part of an online homeschool curriculum before, that's monumental with like a family academy, especially for preschool and parents get bored. Oh, we're just going to walk around here. It really teaches them what they like and what different options are there. Method teacher, second one to the end on the right. That one's for music. We have to bring in our own instruments, which we have quite a few upstairs in this building. And they have different videos. So it's to the art standards. Some states they'll take for accreditation for a CTE music credit, but in Oregon, they still want a teacher that has those credits, but it will still be an elective credit, just not a CTE music credit. And the prices are all in there too, and that's like $60 per instrument. And they guarantee that anybody that starts will finish and be able to learn how to play. Other than that, we are just looking at, as a staff family, we're either looking at SOU, which a lot of the schools around here use SOU for dual credit in the building, but it's a pretty lengthy process. And so we currently have OIT for just dual credit chemistry. And that one's shorter, different amount of essays and resumes and things like that that we have to bring in, but it's not used as much in this area. And so we're just going to continue to research that this second semester because of how much time it takes for teachers to get accredited. And then have that ready and set and as a collective for fall. So again, we can offer dual credit, AP honor, all these different things for our students. So that's pretty much all of them. And I'm, just going to kind of say what I want again. And it's also, the lens of the students here is the E-dynamic, Edgenuity, and Alex, the Corone, and the music method, adding those 5 in with what we currently have, and then moving towards the credit. Again, make our school a magnet for choice, whether it's online or in our building. So sorry, that one took a little extra, but going on to spring testing, I'm looking at iReady and state testing for second semester. We're doing our training now. We've also opened up to intervention classes, which I'm super excited about because before we were just a platform where we were 7th grade through 12th grade, and then we had SPET, and there were a lot of kids that were just kind of falling in the pockets and we didn't have anything that we were giving them. And now we're going to be able to teach them Cornell notes. We're going to be going over their planners and what is it they're missing? What are they needing to do again? And IXL, which can also help cement some of those just rote kind of remote practices. So that's coming in, which I'm excited about. I did complete the discipline rubric for the middle school, high school. I have linked it into my principal's report. If you wanted to take a look at that, that's there. Athletics, I'll just say in all, it's going great. Proud of the girls. Miss Amanda Carlton, who's here with us and does many things, great things for our school, has especially highlighted their achievements and their growth for this year, and just really proud of both girls and boys teams. What I'm looking for next, just to end on a different note for this year, I feel like I've been moving and sometimes perhaps too quickly, but I'm just seeing the need and the opportunity, and so I'm learning. But as soon as we get the answer and the response for these classes, we will put the kids into the classes this week, and then I'm wanting to put together a catalog, put that online, and then again, that's the formation and next steps of the magnet for this area that will really bring kids in. So, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any questions, or shall we pass this or offer?
You can share that, or we can make a copy so everybody can have one.
Directly and see.
I can ask Hillary to send me the link that she has this and then put it into the principal's report. So then it just takes and you have everything that I've mentioned here. So
Sounds great. I am curious about your rubric here and how the students were able to test those out to find their opinion or their reflection.
yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah, I can answer that one more, actually.
Well, you can go ahead and answer, but we do have that on our agenda later on meeting.
oh yeah, I just want to know how they
So
want to hear.
we had some students who had interest in doing online programs next semester, and it was definitely ones that weren't offered via SLS, like I want to take online criminology. SLS didn't offer that. So we were looking into them, and Miss Williams picked out a few students. Did Miss Pam help you select them too, or was it just you who selected the students?
Well, we do everything together.
Miss Williams and Miss Pam selected some students, and we all came in. And before then, they sent us links to every online program up there, and we clicked into them. We reviewed the sites, looked over all the courses.
Over the syllabuses,
Yeah.
for the classes.
Me personally, I clicked on at least all of them, all of the
Yeah.
courses I could, especially the ones that were most interest, like psychology, criminology, law.
I looked into some EMR
Medical.
classes.
And we basically clicked on them, looked at the courses, see how highly they were rated, see how they kind of interlink, what kind of subjects we're teaching from. I probably spent like, I'm not gonna lie, I spent like 3 hours looking for all these.
Same.
Like 3 to 4 hours, like looking into all these, trying to figure out exactly which ones would be best for the students here at Pacific. And before we came to the meeting, we kind of got an idea in our mind. Me personally, I already had my favorite, before I got in here, my favorite is E-Dynamic and
Same.
BYU from what we picked out, but I also loved, of course, Method, Corone. I can't pronounce it, Alex or Alex?
Alex.
Alex for math, that was a really good one for that one. I think Edunity is a great platform for kids taking multiple online courses, have it in one place. And I felt like doing a lot of research into those beforehand to get a really good idea. That would really help the process of like voting for how much we liked them and the graphics, the step and organization.
As well as in the past, like last year, I took an online astronomy class through BYU, which had like a good like curriculum and good setup. And during like COVID times, we used Ingenuity a lot, at least at the school that I went to. We had everything on Ingenuity, which I feel went really well for like middle school and elementary school.
Yeah. For BYU, I took that astronomy class with her. We both got the program. We did it together with like, we all went at the same pace. And then the year prior, I took an online forensics class for BYU, and they definitely have a good program for that one. I like that one. It has a lot of like all the core classes you need, but also at the same time, E-Dynamic had more career-based, but I loved for just like center-based ones, Alex, Corone, and Method. They were really good for that direct subject that they're trying to like teach for.
And I'm just gonna say, like, when you get into the rubric, you're gonna see which ones have teachers and which do not. And I put pricing down and it's detailed to have a grading teacher. So what the cost is so we don't have any extra costs like for a teacher to grade. So that is in there as well. And Alex is very affordable. I mean, they're gonna charge us like $30 per license for a whole half semester. You cannot beat that. And it has a grading aspect to it. And all of them have tools and integrity tools for writing and plagiarism and tutors and things like that. Some of them extra hours for free tutoring. So good deal.
Yeah.
Sounds like great review procedure.
They did a really good job.
Yeah.
Loved having lunch together. And
That was
That was,
really
yeah,
fun.
that was great lunch. We had great discussion.
Oh yeah.
Great. Does the board have any questions or comments on what remains of the report? I think we made it to the end, right? Sorry, we did.
I thought I heard you say there were links in your report to items that you made reference to.
Yep.
I didn't see them.
yeah, I can share them with you there on my principals report. I think often they're cut and pasted. So I'm not sure if the links are.
If it goes through.
Yeah, but I do have them. I can report it.
Sure.
I'll make sure I have Hillard's addition in here and then I can do that tomorrow first thing, hopefully.
Okay. Anything further? Excellent. Thank you. Then we will move on to 3.1.
All right, so we have Shayla Carpenter here is going to share with us about a request for out-of-state travel for a senior trip.
So I have the lovely Marilyn Hensley, who is a senior this year, representing our class 2026. She's been working so hard, so she's a little sleepy, but we have been fundraising really hard this year. We want to tell them what the plan A is.
So plan A is to drag the boys' butts to Catalina Island and make them soak up some vitamin D. So then they actually can, I don't know, go do boy things. And me and Sheila are hopefully gonna find a beach. Yeah. Okay, hold on.
It is an island, so it's not difficult.
It's Catalina Island. Our other senior, Ashton Wood, has wrote a book, and that was what it was based in, was the island. And so that's kind of what came to fruition of, hey, let's go to Catalina Island. And they are all fishermen, and you know, Maryland's a very outdoorsy kind of person too. So they agreed that they thought that would be a fun place to go. They want a more chillax, low itinerary, not Disneyland, lots of, you know, busy. There's a lot of details that go into it though, which would be a flight. We are hoping to stay the night in Eugene, fly out very early because there's a ferry that you take. And so we would have to, you know, I have all the planning up until coming home and just, you know, all the little nitty gritties that we've detailed out, trying to come up with a budget and how much we need and everything like that. But it is very extensive as far as making sure we get off that plane, have a half an hour to drive to get on the ferry, that takes an hour, etc. There's 6 students and 2 chaperones. I've been in contact with transportation as well at this point and just kind of checking in because we are low in transportation and how that would look. If the person that went with us is a chaperone from the school, like Lyle or someone who possibly has their van license, that then could drive us in the school van to be able to stay the night and then everybody flies together, or would that look like he's taking all 8 of us up, dropping us, and then coming back? So there is also a possibility of a question of transportation, and if myself and say another staff member could drive them in personal vehicles. There is only 8 of us total, but my rig only holds 7, so we'd have to accommodate for another rig. But they have just reached $5,000 today officially after some fundraising this weekend, and we sold even a couple tickets here tonight. So they are only about halfway to the goal. We've come up with kind of a plan A, plan B, and then even a plan C. To fund the trip is about $9,000, and they're at 5 currently. We have though probably 50 plus bags behind my house full of cans. I just got the approval letter actually on Friday that they have accepted our fundraising application to now take them to the bottle drop in Coos Bay. So I do feel confident we will make quite a bit of money with the can drive. And then as Mr. Miller had mentioned, we are doing trivia night and a cornhole tournament in March to try and come up with the remaining. So I think they can do it. I hope they can do it because I do feel like this is a trip otherwise some of them may not have the opportunity to do. And we have a backup plan where maybe just staying in Long Beach, taking the ferry for one day, hanging out at the island and coming back. And then today and last week we discussed, you know, for chance the board doesn't approve of this or we don't make the funds, then they would like to just go to Sun River and stick more in Oregon local and hang out at Sun River Bend area for a couple of days. So currently we are just seeking the approval of the board for us to travel out of state. I will be honest, this is my first year as a senior advisor, so I don't know how many details you guys need as far as that goes. And when we get down to transportation, I know that will be something to be discussed and figured out, you know, hopefully quickly, but also kind of last minute. So it's been tricky, but I have confidence that I think they can pull it off. I keep telling them it's a lot of work and time flies by really fast. But there's also plan B and C to fall back on if we are unable to make it. That's where we're at.
Thank you.
Lots you want to throw in there?
I just want to see the sun and some real beach.
You might have to leave Oregon for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Here.
Do we have any questions from the board?
I just want to say as a personal comment that every year I feel a little older and a little older as these were my babies.
Yeah.
And now they're seniors. So
We go way back. Way back.
Then I'm open to a motion.
I will make a motion, but I want to have a little bit discussion first. I just want to clarify because in the past, we have approved out-of-state travel. And I just want to make sure that within making the motion for the approval of this, that I don't need to include anything about making sure that it meets all the requirements of the school district's insurance and all of that. And so I'm just asking for guidance. Do I need to put in all of the legalese in the motion or assume that that is taken care of with the district? Okay, I make a motion to approve the senior trip out of state.
Sorry.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion or question?
Oh, I will add, real IDs are gonna be an obstacle too. Like half of them are gonna be over 18, the other half is not. And we have currently one of them that have gotten the real ID, and so that is something else we're trying to figure out.
I have recently talked to people who have flown without them. It's just a longer process of getting through security is what I've been told. So maybe it's just better at the time if they don't have it. Yeah. But I think it is possible.
I pull my hair out and be bald by the end of all of it. Passport, they last long. More than see.
Well, we have a motion and a second, several questions and discussion. Are we ready to call for a vote? Okay, motion to approve the senior trip out of state. All in favor? Unanimous. Look, I believe in you guys. I believe our community will come and support you. Moving forward now, 5.3.2, chapter approval.
Bree, you're up.
You know. Good evening, members of the school board, administrators, and faculty. I'm Brianna Huggins. I'm a sophomore here at Pacific High School, and this is my peer Solomon Feliciano. We're here to request approval for a Turning Point USA chapter at Pacific. We just want to explain what the chapter is, how it would run at our school, and our keeping in it.
So Turning Point USA is a national student organization that focuses on civil discourse, leadership development, and informed discussion about American government. Turning Point clubs are student-led, faculty-supervised organizations that operate within school guidelines, just like other approved student clubs. There is interest in this club from students with a wide range of viewpoints. Some students want to better understand current events, while others want to become more confident in their beliefs or to be in a structured environment to discuss civic issues respectfully. This club will provide a place for learning and dialogue without disrupting the school environment. Patriotism is about understanding the principles that our country was founded on. A Turning Point chapter would encourage students to study the Constitution, explore American history, and learn about the responsibilities that come with freedom. Through respectful discussion and education, students would practice values that define the United States. I think it's crucial for middle school and high school students to embrace their role as patriots in this country.
Although Turning Point is usually associated with certain viewpoints at our school, the organization operates in a nonpartisan manner, and it would also at our school. The goal is not to support political parties or candidates. The focus would just be on education of the students and like letting them grow into their views and learn how to discuss respectfully with their peers. All viewpoints would be welcome, and the club would emphasize learning how to think critically rather than telling students how to think. Meetings would be structured, respectful, and supervised by our advisor, Ms. Carlton. A typical meeting might include an educational segment, a discussion, planning an event, etc. Ground rules would be clearly established, and respectful language would be obviously enforced. Meetings would focus on productive debate rather than confrontation and judgment so that we can challenge ideas in a healthy way. This club would be important to our school because it would help them develop leadership, communication skills, and members would experience what it's like to be a part of a group that values each other. And they would also learn how to be able to organize and lead a meeting. And these skills are valuable not only in civic discussions and life, but also in academics and careers and community involvement. Approving a Turning Point chapter would reflect the board's commitment to free expression, equal opportunity, and intellectual diversity. Schools are places where students should be able to explore ideas, ask questions, and learn how to engage respectfully with others. Allowing this club would support that mission. In closing, a Turning Point Club would provide students with structured, respectful space to learn about their country and develop leadership skills while promoting thoughtful patriotism. It would contribute positively to our school's community. We respectfully ask the board to consider this request. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Skip, they have any
Have any questions?
How many students do you have that are wanting to form your club?
So the club originally, it was my interest to start it. And Solomon also shared interest in the club. So we kind of discussed it and we made a list of students. It was around 20 who were interested, and with all complex different viewpoints who obviously don't all think the same. And so we think it would be a great opportunity to just get these students together and have debates and talk about what's going on in our world and learn, because I think that's our responsibility as Americans.
Thank you, Pete.
You guys did a great presentation. I do have a question for you. Much of what you described would be achieved by student participation in student government. And we have a tough time in our school getting students to do that.
Mhm.
How would that in the club?
As a member of ASB, which is our student council mainly focuses on just getting assemblies, spirit weeks. It's more of a school spirit kind of organization, at least in the way it participates with our students. So this club would be more focused on what's going on nationally and what's going on in DC, what's going on just in our town's government, just learning about how to discuss and participate in that.
And how would you assure that there were, in fact, civil discourse and debate amongst people with differing viewpoints? We had a club organized here in the high school a few years ago that kind of had, it wasn't Turning Point, it was I forget.
YAF, is that what you're thinking of? Young Americans for Freedom?
Again, and I have to admit that I was still curious at that time, that when they got started, some of what was going on between them and the rest of the students was not particularly civil.
Mhm.
Okay.
May I? So one of the things that I get to teach here is government class, and I also get to teach speech and debate. And one of the things that I am absolutely firm on is having a civil conversation, because that's something that is sorely lacking in just our lives anymore. And if we're not teaching our young people how to have that civil discourse, and as far as opposing views, Turning Point USA is a 501c3 nonpartisan. So it's, you know, people think it leans one way, and well, if that's your definition, then sure. But during this time, as it is a student-led club, but as the advisor, my job is to supervise. So I would, you're not going to talk like that. You're going to have this conversation civilly, and then I'm going to teach them how to have that conversation civilly, and then give them the tools that these young leaders can teach their peers how to have a civil conversation.
As a student in her speech and debate class, she's a great neutral moderator. And so I think that'll be a powerful asset to our club when we're having maybe sometimes uncomfortable discussions, which we do in her class. And this is kind of building off of that and expanding on a higher basis. for our students at Pacific.
Yeah, they don't get to talk about what they want to talk about in my classes. I get to, but in this club, they would be able to read and view news and then come at it from a different perspective. And I think that's really healthy and important to have different perspectives and learn about different perspectives. People are so dogmatic in their beliefs that they stop listening to, but you never know. You're going to have two sides of the argument. One person just might say, you know what, you're absolutely right. Or both parties might say, you know what, I respectfully disagree with you, and I'm going to stay respectfully disagreed with you, but I'm still going to be your friend and I'm still going to respect you as a human being.
And aside from discussion and debates, we also, one of our main missions in Turning Point, starting this chapter, is to spread patriotism, because I feel like we're almost slipping with that in this country in this new age. And so that's one thing that we're really wanting to focus on, is spreading that patriotism through our school and helping everybody learn how to participate in that sense.
So you did mention, because Turning Point USA is a very controversial thing, and I'm a little bit concerned about the affiliation with the school and making sure that we're completely inclusionary. I mean, is it possible to form some sort of club that maybe wasn't necessarily associated with Turning Point to make sure that it was completely inclusionary, where you could still do all the things you wanted?
So I've been working with the West Coast representative of Turning Point to start this chapter and to get it here today. And he is actually providing us with resources for the clubs, things such as posters, buttons, bracelets, shirts, that sort of thing, so that we can spread our message. And to your point that the club may be controversial, it is for high schoolers. Turning Point has another section specifically for high schools, and it is called Club America. So this club would be called Club America PHS. It would not be, it is obviously, the overhead is Turning Point, but we are operating as Club America at Pacific. So it would not hold that name or that label, but all of our resources are coming from them.
I have a question. So as you've described it, it sounds really good. But again, I think similar to what Angel said with that overhead of Turning Point, do you feel, are you going to get pressure from them? How would you handle pressure from them that you guys don't agree, that seems like maybe it's one-sided, or maybe that's just my worry because I'm not that familiar?
So Turning Point, in the way that we are operating, because it is a nonpartisan organization, there will be no pressures to us. As I previously explained, what we're going to be doing here is teaching students how to have conversations and how to debate and how to just be an American patriot. So we will not be promoting anything about political candidates or anything of that matter. And any pressures from Turning Point, we would not condone that, because that's what we're trying to do here, is teach the next generation of leaders.
And if I may, I just to add to that, you know, I definitely don't think that living in fear would be anything that we would want to promote. And if people have a negative association with Turning Point USA, then come to us and ask us, show them the charter. The charter is a nonpartisan, non-political. This is so that kids can come together and have a dialogue and become patriots. And patriotism isn't a political tool. Patriotism is something that, you know, you either want to have it or maybe you're not feeling, but that doesn't mean it should be a political divide. And also, I think every student here knows, and if they don't, then I'm not doing my job, but I think every student here knows that they're welcome in any club or in any environment, and that we are super inclusive. One of the beauties of having, you know, 100 kids in this tiny little building is we get to know all of them, and we get to say, hey, come on, hang out with us, come have lunch with us. You have a different view, then maybe you two have a different view. Come talk about it. Let's come to terms with that. But as far as inclusivity, personally am not worried about it. As far as somebody being branded, oh my gosh, that club is Turning Point USA, I welcome that, because then we can have that conversation. Well, this is Club America, and yes, Turning Point USA does fund resources and gives these kids the tools that they need to become productive members of society. But I'm not going to turn my nose up at resources from anybody, as long as they're not, horrible organizations. And this is definitely not a horrible organization. They would take care of us, but that's all I have to say. If you want to continue.
So anything else? One thing I would like to add before we're done is that as a student here at Pacific, as we're getting older and leaning more into our views, I notice a lot of, political arguments here. And I think that Turning Point could be a great way to solve some of these issues. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start this club, because I see a lot of divide between our students, and I hate to see that. So I think a club like this could really help us come together and find a middle ground.
That's
you. Yeah. Do you have anything, Solomon?
No.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. And now to the board.
Are we looking at a motion first, or can we have some discussion before the motion?
The discussion would be pertinent to whatever the motion is, but I think discussion is germane. I think that talking together, we're going to be able to ask better questions. So I'm open to discussion at this time.
Okay. I'm curious if we should table this and everyone do research on it before we officially decide. Like if we all go research, just because, it does, I just want to make sure that it completely aligns with what Pacific wants for the school before we made a decision. I don't feel like I know enough about it.
I would agree also, just not having been able to read these fully, that would support me in a better decision.
Yeah, just a more educated decision.
But
I'm fine with having more time. I think there are some things that I have concern about, and I do know that Turning Point has a reputation of potentially being divisive and all of that, but I also have concerns that we have students who are soon going to be people who are voting and active citizens within our nation and making decisions that will affect the rest of my life. And so I have concerns about how the club is managed. There would be certain clubs that I would not want to be walking up and down the hall because they are associated with actual hate against certain communities and certain groups of people. But if this club is ran in the manner that my understanding is that the students have explained, I think that it is an important growing skill for future citizens to learn how to have that discourse so that we're not having riots in the street over different issues that are going on, but that we are growing citizens in Port Orford who are able to discuss those hard topics and to be able to learn how to respect other people, even if they don't agree with our opinions. And so my concern, if we don't go with this club, is that we are becoming kind of tunnel visioned in that we're only allowing people in the community that believe what we believe. And I think that, we've worked hard, all of us on the board, we, I think, do a very good job of having different opinions, but being able to come together and to discuss those different opinions and be able to reach the best that we can come to for the students, because the students are always our priority. And I would just, I would want to be growing our students to be those same type of citizens for our community. And so I do have some reservations and some questions about this group, but I also think that there are some positive things too. And I just want to make sure that as a school district, if this group is approved, that there is still some way of maintaining that in order that students aren't walking down the hall and, you know, stating hate statements, but are actually getting an understanding. And I'm thinking of a couple of years ago when we were in COVID and there were a lot of political, you know, discords and things. And some students didn't even really understand what flags that they were carrying really meant and what the history of those flags were. And so I see this as being an opportunity for that learning and growth. And so I'm not saying that we need to make a decision tonight. And I think it's great if people do want to investigate it more. I just want to make sure that we are still maintaining one of those main principles of our Constitution, that everyone has the ability to have an opinion. And as long as they are expressing that opinion in a lawful and approved manner by the laws and society has set up, that we're not squelching free speech, just as we're not banning books because we don't agree with the theme of the book, or, you know, all of those different things that can happen. So I guess that's my input of what I would like to say.
Well, as it was, as the club and at Baptista to describe our both the two students, and again, I congratulate each other on this big statement of that. And their advisor, Ms. Carlson, over there, I think about that. The thing I heard there, I am real concerned about the affiliation with that particular group, simply because they are noted as being not exactly middle of the road. Okay. So that's my reservation. But yeah, I'm not ready to say no, but I'm not happy about certainly not happy about that particular affiliation.
The umbrella.
If we're looking to have a group that's going to foster everything we heard about in a way and from a perspective that is moderate, or about that particular group.
And I am open to a motion to table or postpone. That would need a motion.
I would make a motion to postpone any decision for the next meeting so that we can all do individual research and come back and have more discussion about how we feel about it.
I have a motion to postpone until February.
Yes.
We don't have a motion until it's seconded. As a way, if there are questions and there are concerns, I do share some of your concerns about the umbrella charter and stuff. If it moves us forward, I'm willing to second the motion to have a postponement of this until we can have further research into the group, since these were here tonight when we got here. So I'm willing to second the motion to move us forward.
I would just like to clarify that you would wish to postpone until the next meeting, or do we have an indefinite time?
The next meeting, I mean, because it says the school year is defined as June 1st, so we have a little bit of time, I feel like.
Okay.
So if we postpone till next meeting, I think that still gives them plenty of time before the school year starts for their.
I don't wish to put words in your mouth. We would feel.
Yeah, no, I just.
Put a timeline on that.
Packet says it, so I think.
Well, it is a good point to note that we just received this stuff today. So I think we are entitled to take a closer look and say, am I being worried about something unnecessarily here or what's the background here?
Just do our due diligence.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to postpone until February. Do we have any further discussion?
I would just add, and I think I'm echoing the thoughts of a lot of you. As presented, the club sounds fabulous. It sounds completely good. I would have no qualms. But again, as others have said, that association, and that's just in my head, and I need some time to kind of sort out, what am I worried about? Am I really worried? And I just I feel I would do a better job at being able to process through that with more time. But as the club was presented, it sounds great. So.
Agreed.
Okay. I have a motion and a second with some discussion. Are we ready to call a vote to postpone? Maybe? Yes, ready to vote? Okay. All in favor to postpone until February's meeting? Okay, that's unanimous. Return to that after we're all better read, I guess. Moving forward then to 5.4, our Driftwood Principals Report.
I really have nothing to add except that we are at 104 enrollment. My two folks did enroll and they have joined us. Otherwise, we are staying the course. And the only other thing I wanted to add to our family community night was that we are doing a survey around boosters and PTO for Driftwood specifically. Would very much appreciate that kind of assistance, but we'll get some feedback from the community. Other than that, unless you have questions for me, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Does it inject the likeness in the French spirit? It might be the French culture. Or perhaps the brilliant light of.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions or comments? No. Thank you very much. We will move forward then. We have our transportation and maintenance report included in the packet. Does the board have any questions or comments on that?
I do have a question. Chad mentioned the plate starter on fire pump. Is that part of the same system, Aaron, that you were talking about, the fire suppression?
The fire suppression piece, yes, it's different than the sewage treatment plant.
Okay.
But the pump is in need of repair, actually replacement. It's old and it's getting us through, but we also have consultation to look at that, and it is an expensive pump. It's over $100,000.
Risk are we at for a fire here?
We're not at risk right now, but we need to address this and have a timeline and a plan in our budget to fix it so that we are not in a position where we're at emergency level.
Okay. Anything further from the board on that? Thank you very much. Moving on to our technology update. Welcome, Ms. Berryman.
Back from my understanding.
Thank you.
One good thing about in the Connected Seniors, we did get the flyers out today too. So I sent them to Brittany. I sent them to the library. So we should start getting those out into the community and hopefully be getting 10 seniors to be able to join the program. And I know that kids are excited to be a part of this as well. So moving forward with that. Any other questions on any other things?
I might be biased, but I think the Connected Seniors program is.
I'm glad we have the students. I'm glad we have the library on board. And I'm glad we're moving forward with it too, because I've been into a couple of the classes and it's an amazing experience, and to see members of the community get educated on how to use technology, feel more included, being able to use it. And then at the end, having the opportunity to purchase it, use it for themselves on the computers that they learned. It's a great opportunity all around. And we're excited that it is moving forward. No.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward to 5.7, our financial report and audit report.
And Tara is not here. She is at a conference in Salishan. Other business managers. So if you have any questions on that, I would try to answer them or save them for her upon her return. And that same would be included for the next one on the audit report, which I believe is in your packet.
That's a nice relief.
It's always nice when it comes back good, and we have, prior to me being here as well, we've had nothing but good reports from auditors. We've got good procedures in place, and when there are mistakes or errors, they're little and easy to fix.
Excellent. Moving forward then to new business,
5.7.2.
5.7.
With one of the added items. Budget
calendar.
calendar. Stephanie, did we get those out to them?
We've all got a copy right now.
Okay, so you have given to you tonight a draft calendar for our budget meetings throughout the spring. First date would be February 23rd. We would approve our budget committee members, and this is a year where we have all our budget committee members in place. We don't have need for soliciting new ones. And then Tara and I are working on the budget and getting things rolled over to next year with next year's revenue, next year's employment costs, any other things that we know are going up, and put us at a starting point to see where we're at. So we will be ready to roll with these timelines.
Have we made contact with everyone on the budget committee just to confirm that they are still committed this year?
We have,
I haven't, I'm not sure.
no, we have not made contact yet, but everyone said that they were returning, and that's on Tara's list to be in touch with them and make sure they're still going to be there.
Do we need a motion to approve or adopt this?
Yes.
Have a motion and a second to adopt the 2026-2027 budget calendar for the school. Is there any further discussion or question? Seeing none, let's call it to the vote. Those in favor of adopting this budget as presented?
Budget calendar.
The calendar, not the budget.
You can't save us, you can't save us that much work.
Budget calendar for this year looked unanimous. Yes. Okay. Done.
I just realized I will be gone for one of the states. Is that?
That is okay. There is an equal number of community representatives as board members, and we'll have to get to that night and make sure we have a quorum if there's a decision to make, but
Okay, it's just that first one,
Should be.
April 20th, I'm out of town.
you should be good to go.
You'll come back to have to chair something.
Yeah, you'll get voluntold when
Yeah.
you're gone, but it's okay.
I know how that works.
Did you say April 10th?
April 20th.
So you're missing the board meeting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
All right, thank you. Now, I do believe we're ready to move on to new business. Welcome, Bruce. Welcome, Paul. Moving on to new business, 6.1, local service plan with our South Coast Educational Service District.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to ask, is this formally your last one? Rumor is that you are like done.
Back to retiring at the end of the school year, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for all of your service.
It's been my pleasure. It's been 4 years and it's been just awesome.
And this is ESD Superintendent Paul Peterson.
Good evening, everybody. In front of the. I'm Paul Peterson, Superintendent of South Coast ESD. With me tonight is one of my board members, Bruce Lee. And so on behalf of the ESD, thanks for inviting me here tonight to share with you about the local service plan. Overview, every year the local service plan, or LSP, gets reviewed and approved by the region superintendents. There's 10 of them, and then it goes to the ESD board, and then it goes to the boards of each of the school districts, from Reedsport to Brookings in the south. So the local service plan on your agenda tonight is largely unchanged from the local service plan you approved last year. This plan was reviewed by the area's 10 superintendents this fall, and they voted to approve the plan on November 20th. The South Coast ESD Board of Directors also voted unanimously to approve this plan at their December 9th meeting. This LSP is designed to provide the maximum flexibility to each of our districts and how they want to use their ESD resolution dollars. And that each district chooses from a menu of services what they need from the ESD. And we call those tier 2 services. Altogether, the tier 2 services comprise around 95% of the ESD's resolution dollars, with around 5% in tier 1, or what we sometimes call core services that benefit all 10 districts. Those tier 1 services, or core services, include homeschool registration, audiology testing, birth to 3 evaluations, and the Safe School program. South Coast ESD is proud to partner with your district to help deliver high quality programs, cost-effective manner. And you have any questions for me about the ESD? What we do or how we do it?
So you said largely changed. You said largely the same. So help us understand what's different.
Dates have been updated and removed references to the Adaptive Life Skills program. That's a program that we're not offering anymore. I think that's actually all the changes. Okay.
You're right.
And I'm updating what we call our catalog. All the different services so the superintendents and their cabinets will get our updated catalog sometime in mid-March. They'll submit their orders to us mid-April. We firm up pricing, get it all confirmed back to the superintendents by middle of May, and then we write contracts, and that's how we get from one year to the next.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Does the board have any questions? No. Okay.
Well, thank you very much
Yeah.
for showing up, and thank you for indulging us. We had a little few discussion items beforehand. So thanks for joining us. Yes.
Yeah. Although I think last year there was square dancing last year.
Yeah, you commented it was your favorite board meeting.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why Bruce came tonight. Dancing, huh? Thank you for coming.
Is there any consideration or questions from the board? Discussion. You do need a motion to approve or adopt this.
I believe so.
So
I will make a motion that we adopt the South Coast Education Service District Local Service Plan for 2026 and 27 as presented.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt our South Coast Educational Service District Local Service Plan for 2026, 2027. Is there any further question or discussion? No. Ready to call the vote? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving forward to 6.2, approve Family Academy curriculum.
So I had a presentation for you, but the kids took over.
Thank you for the sneak peek.
No, in all seriousness, thank you, gentlemen.
Safe travels.
In all seriousness, what we have in front of you are several different online learning options and curriculums. They are here at the request of some of our parents and family academy, at the request and need of alternative options in Pacific High School. And some of these may or may not be used immediately, but we wanted to have those options available for our families and our students. Celis is a program that meets overarching needs for all different curriculum areas, but it is one that is more of a simplified curriculum. And we as a staff and our students want to have some options that provide some more rigor and something that's going to help prepare them for where they're headed in their future after Pacific High School. So if you have any questions on any of these, we can try and answer them. But none of these have any of those controversial pieces to them, which were present in a couple of the options on the past request. Many of these are used by other homeschool and online learning programs. So as Ms. Williams shared, that helps make us competitive and attractive to others so that they can access those things through us rather than somewhere else.
Yeah, I spent not quite 2 hours yesterday afternoon picking through these, and I don't have any problems at all with any of these. Where it applied, I specifically focused on the science curriculum part.
Really?
They look pretty darn solid.
Are you wanting to come back and teach now?
Maybe for a brief moment it popped. No, they look good. I didn't see any of the things that popped up in an item or two that in the last round there that seemed questionable. They all look good to me.
I have to admit, I was a little bit confused in the earlier discussion because at the last time when we were approving curriculum, we were just approving curriculum whether it met the requirements of the state of Oregon or it didn't. And so I was a little confused by the presentation, and not that I don't appreciate it, but I thought it's not the board's role to choose curriculum. It's our role to approve curriculum. And so I wasn't really understanding with the presentation. They were saying, well, we like this one and we like this one. I felt like that was leading where we were choosing curriculum, which is not our role. Our role is only to approve curriculum. And so what I've seen of the curriculums, they all met, and I would think we would be approving all the curriculum, and it's up to the staff and the students to be choosing their curriculum. And I just want to make sure that I'm not misunderstanding something.
That is correct. The student input is just that, it's input. We wanted to get their opinion on what was needed and what they thought might meet their needs most effectively. What we have in front of you are options that would work for different families, different reasons, different students and their needs. So we're not asking you, to determine what they liked and didn't like and then base that accordingly. We feel that all of these are solid options for curriculum. The student input is an extra added bonus to hear their thoughts. But we believe that these are going to be good options to meet family needs. And some of them will get chosen more than others. There are probably some options on here that as families go through and students go through, they may not get chosen, but we have them as an opportunity and an option in case it does meet one of our kids or our families. Does that answer your question?
It does. And in reply to that, an acknowledgement of the work that the students did. And I think a lot of times, as long as it's meeting the state requirements of what needs to be there, I think that student input can be very valuable. And so I don't know how the Family Academy curriculum choices are made by parents, but if there could just be a short summary of the students that's put next to curriculum so that a parent who's coming in cold turkey has no clue about any of it, they could at least read what the students' responses were to different curriculums and possibly lead them. And I know that's also not in our lane, but it's just a suggestion to the Family Academy that, as it continues to grow, that student input is put in about, I really like this curriculum because of this, and different students have
We
different.
have our own little Yelp reviews on our curriculum choices.
So,
No, I like that idea. I was not able to stay for the entire meeting that the kids had, but I was here for about the first 15 minutes, and the discussion I heard was really thoughtful. You heard from their presentation, they really thought about what was important to them and what would help them learn the most. So great input. Thank you both and everyone else. Yeah.
That they did. They also looked at it as a potential bonus of what would work well for the elementary school. So some of them that are K-12, oftentimes you'll find with homeschool families, they're going to like something like Edgenuity because it just encompasses all the different subject matters. And so they looked at it not just for middle school to high school. They said, oh, this would be K-12 too. And so they just had really good insight, and they liked certain platforms that came at them with different color, and they didn't like other ones that were more sterile, and they had great input.
And then the other thing is that they had the foresight to answer a board member's question before the question was answered. Because there was a question about music curriculum and if there were some standalones in those types of areas, and you just nailed it because there's a music curriculum up there that met your needs. So that is the piece of this also is as we go through this and continue to look at other programs and curriculums, we're trying to find options that meet needs. We want to have a music program, but if we don't, maybe we have something that can kind of lead us there until we get somebody. So
I really want to thank you guys for taking the time to do so much research beforehand. I mean, it's not something that all kids your age want to do. So I think it's great, and I really appreciate your guys' dedication to it.
I did not expect the level of specificity and thoughtfulness and, really a professional review of this. I expected it to be a student version, and it wasn't.
I have I know I have a very good idea of what interests of areas of interest I want to go into when I'm older. I want to make sure that while I'm in high school, I can experiment and basically learn about those different subjects before I go off to college and, go into these, because I'm really interested in criminology and forensics, criminal justice, but if I didn't take any classes on that beforehand, I just went right into college. If I hated it, that would actually kind of suck, because
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's really nice that to have the opportunity while I'm in high school. When I took my forensic class freshman year, absolutely loved it. And it kind of helped spark my interest in forensics, criminology and stuff, and taking more classes based on that. I feel like it's going to really help me figure out exactly what I want to do when I get older.
Yeah, and I can absolutely agree with that. And I had a nice meeting with Miss Williams, who helped me to go through different options for that. And I can say that, yeah, definitely taking courses like this throughout my high school career could help me figure out what I want to do in the future.
Miss Pam and Miss Williams have been so helpful. I have to say these two, big help.
Absolutely.
I will say, don't get discouraged if you do change your mind in college. It's normal. I changed my major 3 times. In my 30s, getting my second bachelor's degree. It's fine. All the time in the world. So if you change your mind at any point, it's okay.
Thanks for all the extra help. My question would be more towards the formatting, where we saw this before in the Family Academy curriculum. It had the grades in reference to what grade level would be servicing it. And while I do see high school plus Driftwood, it was more specific last time.
The ones I looked at, most of them did have a breakout for middle school, high school, and some of them have broken down for the primary grade, their elementary grades
Yes.
as well. So I was looking mostly at the middle school, high school things. But I did notice that most of them had those differentiations.
I'm speaking of the previous request as it was submitted to us. They had specific grades noted. But it did look like many of these were all encompassing, and I am grateful for the emphasis on rigor. It is nice to meet our students where they're at and to be able to elevate them past where standard curriculums would be. I also had a question about if these were core curriculums or supplemental.
If they were supplemental, we would not be asking for approval. You all have the responsibility to approve core curriculums. So each of these is a core standalone curriculum. The Alex is all math, e-dynamic learning, BYU, Edgenuity, virtual, strong mind, and flex point and Corone, or not Corone, and flex point are all inclusive. Corone is health and PE, and then your method is the music.
Thank you.
And what about the Rosetta Stone? Because
Oh.
it's listed up above, but it's not got highlighted.
Rosetta Stone is one that can be used for language.
Okay,
We have
so it's supplemental, correct?
no, that would be a core curriculum for the language class. Yeah.
It wasn't on the list that Stephanie said ahead of time, but I've used Rosetta Stone before, and it's used worldwide for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can be flexible in which language a student wants to learn as opposed to just having a Spanish teacher. Yeah.
I was really pleased looking through these to see how many options there are now. That seems strong. And I mean, I haven't looked at online curriculums like this in many years. And what I was used to was like, oh, it's not good. But this is great. And I love, like you said, the idea that you have access to some different courses than what we would necessarily have here to explore different options. So, right.
The rigor end of it is still troubling for me. The Edgenuity one is the weakest of the group by considerable gap, if you ask me. But even with the best curriculum, rigor comes down to a teacher and a student, and expectations. And so you can have a great program on paper that just doesn't deliver, and that's the weakness of all the online systems. And so I want to give the families something to work with, but at the same time, I can't be a fan for this. I'm sorry.
If I were to pick and choose for everybody, I would have them in the building.
Exactly. Find a Bunsen burner.
With your science guy.
We've had some discussion. I'm open to hearing other questions or a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the online curriculums as listed on this page 28. And I can read through them if that's helpful. Okay.
There are future board members.
Okay,
I bet
for
it
future
is.
board members who will not have page 28. All right, including, Stella's already approved, or is that-
Acellus is already approved.
So the curriculum that we'll be approving is Rosetta Stone, e-dynamic learning, Alex, BYU, Imagine Edgenuity, Florida Virtual, Strong Mind, FlexPoint, Corone Learning, and Method Teacher.
Have a message to approve the list as presented.
I will second.
And a second, is there any further discussion or questions? No? Bringing that to a vote, all in favor of the motion to approve Rosetta Stone, e-dynamic learning, Alex, BYU, Imagine Edgenuity, Florida Virtual, Strong Mind, FlexPoint, Corone Learning, and Method Teacher. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the additional.
Right.
Or
They're happy.
forensics classes that she has not taken yet.
On to old business, 7.1. Board goals.
Well, I've submitted 2 copies. 29, page 29. In your packets is what I gleaned directly from my notes. That they had our discussion, which I sent over to Carol. And so the next page, 30 is her refinements, editing.
Based on my notes.
So there's the 2 versions there. Based on what we discussed last time.
And again, these are goals for the board, not the district.
No.
As members
different.
inspired by the Umatilla
Yep.
School Board goals that were showcased at.
And I just want to clarify on goal 4, attending at least one OSBA, NSBA, or other conference or training annually. That does include watching like webinars and things that's provided on the OSBA website, correct?
I would think.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay.
What about trainings up at the, I guess that's an annual training. I was seeing the opportunities that the South Coast DSD offers. I don't know if we need to include that verbiage. It seems wordy then.
We do have other. in
Yeah.
there.
Okay. That's other.
Or other training annually, because there have been things offered in the ESB office that we've gone through that we're working on.
Yeah.
The intent is we get out of our comfort zone and go someplace to get some actual training experience outside the bubble, so to speak.
I make a motion to approve the revised Port Orford-Langlois to CJ School Board goals.
We have a motion.
I will second.
And a second. Have you seen these?
Mhm.
Okay. Second. Okay. Is there any question or discussion based on the motion to update?
I have one question just for following this. Goal 3,
Mhm.
will we need an additional motion to add that to our agenda?
I was also brewing a question similar to that.
And that question is on my list for legal counsel. To get the official word on what we can and how to do that.
Okay.
Which seems ridiculous, but
I-
it's part of, sharing things that have to do with somebody's work.
And I was,
Sure.
I was in agreement with Carol's revisions with the one possible for visa that on number 3 that you brought up. I wasn't sure that we need to be limited by what Mr. Miller shared with us in terms of what we want to recognize. If we hear about something, we don't need to have to hear it from Miller before we would say, we want to recognize that or this or that contribution. I think we're capable of making those choices ourselves when we hear about something with recognition.
The reason that I added that phrase was because of our discussion of trying to be sure that we stay in our lane, if we're recognizing staff accomplishments. It didn't seem like a specific staff accomplishment should come directly from us to the public meeting. It should certainly go through.
I think
Mr.
maybe
Miller.
proper channel would be if we heard about something, bringing it to Aaron and asking him to acknowledge it or something to make sure that it falls in line with whatever he discusses with the lawyers.
Which goal are you looking at?
Number 3,
Where does it say that you have to check with?
recognize staff accomplishments and appreciate community collaboration. If I get my tongue untangled, as shared by the superintendent. I wasn't happy.
I don't see that.
Oh, you're on the, flip your page over. Five.
Oh, sorry. Making notes on the wrong side. That's not going to do me any good.
My recollection, we had talked about how those were appropriate points to bring to your one-on-one, and that delivering it to our superintendent to then share out to the board was maybe staying more in our lane, but.
So I would have to agree with both.
It's diplomatic.
It's fence riding, isn't that the name of the game? But no, in terms of that staying in lane, I think those things in recognition should come through me, because I'm gonna have to talk to the staff member, whoever, to let them know, and then find out the proper channels through legal counsel. But I don't believe it has to be something that comes from me. You guys hear about good things that are happening all the time. You see good things. You have families and constituents that are going to talk to you and tell you about something, and that may or may not come from me. So I wouldn't want that to be a requirement, but I think it does need to go through.
I think if it involved a staff member, I think it would have to come.
Yes, those pieces.
Through you, but the community at large, no, I see why we need to have to.
But when we're talking about a staff member, we're talking about something good. I still have a tough time with that, but it's in the same realm as if we had something that was a deficiency for an employee and we were talking about that. That would not be something that would be aired in public unless they chose to have that conversation in public. Otherwise, that's an executive section discussion. So,
Well, and I like the idea of you being able to notify them you're being recognized by the board at the meeting in case they wanted to come and,
yes,
you know.
some people would have family members show and see that or be online. So, I do need to touch base with, and I probably will go both ways and use the free OSBA service and get the opinion from our paid legal counsel with Hungerford's. It'll be a quick ask. They probably have a document already to share, but I just want to make sure that nothing has changed and we jump through the hoops the right way so that we're meeting our legal obligations and anything that's in our bargaining agreements.
And also, I do remember that during our conversation, we also had conversation that we would have to look at that policy because we do have a policy in our district, and I don't remember which one it is, but it is that you don't discuss staff at the board meeting. And I'm thinking of like, even in the public comment, you know, where we have the thing of board will not hear personal complaints concerning school personnel nor against programs or any person connected with the school system. And in our policy, it talks about not talking about personnel at the board meeting, neither positive nor negative and stuff, because if you only take one and take the other, it is a skewed input, because we can't hear a parent making a complaint about personnel and then it's going through the channels, and then you have 20 people to come in and say how great they are, although you know that you have this serious complaint against them as personnel. You're skewing the record and stuff. And so it is in one of our policies, and we did have discussion that we needed to check that also.
Policy BBF is board member ethics. Anybody needs a copy? We have.
Is that the one about where we don't listen to
It's titled board member ethics. I have how board meetings happen and public complaint procedure as well, but
I would like it, personally, I would like it better if we went to 3 there and marked out staff of comfort, staff of comfort.
Because I think
that's
we
right.
did cross it out.
Okay.
In the thing, I think we talked about community, but
I think we understand that the even the HR aspect and the supervisory aspect as the superintendent and the principal who work with the staff members. But no, if some parent stops by, and I don't need to let pay the monkey rent to the shop, or to be able to send them a card and say thank you for the things that you did for our kids in our school without having to worry about if we're breaking somebody's, policy or rule. That was my thought.
Discuss, sending out cards where maybe
Yeah.
when we're doing that, having that time during the meeting, we all just sign a card real fast, say thank you.
Exactly. Make it more community facing than staff facing.
brought thank you
And
notes.
if we do hear something from
Anybody wants it?
from Aaron or Leo's about staff, then we should thank them too, but as far as this thing, it was more community facing in mind.
Okay, that certainly simplifies it.
Well, I would feel more comfortable changing that language too, just because I didn't know if we should be approving this if we're still waiting for Aaron to talk to the lawyers and make sure that we're even allowed to do that. I wouldn't want to.
and now
And then start talking about us like, no, we can't do it.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
About that.
So maybe it just to.
So I think we-
appreciate community collaborations and then cut out.
Did someone second the motion, Corinne?
Oh, I think so.
We did.
Okay, then we
have
have
to
to,
vote.
we have to vote on that motion before we can move forward and.
Clear how we vetted it. So
If we haven't voted, can we amend it?
if it's amended to line out staff accomplishments
Not 3 deep yet.
and to appreciate community, line that out and put a period after collaboration.
Yeah, so it'll just be revised to say the board will reserve time at board meetings to appreciate community collaborations.
I think, I'm trying to think, but I think we can amend it. We haven't voted on it. But it's been seconded, so.
That's when we amend. I think that's when we. Second to Nate. I'm gonna say we can. Yes, if,
That's just my father. He's just gonna sit in the back till we're all done.
well,
You can
Welcome.
delegate it to the
Welcome.
back thing like that. I heard her. Wow, okay. You can just.
I believe without a vote, an amendment is an appropriate adjustment, but you all have more experience.
Makes sense to me.
We could also just vote it down.
Start over.
Probably the most clean. All right, I have a motion to update the Port Orford-Langlois to CJ school board goals. And I guess as revised from 1/13/26. Are we ready to call to a vote? All in favor?
Okay, we got to vote yes, so one vote.
Bobby, you sticking with yes?
Yeah.
All right, all opposed? Okay, or against? Be open to a motion with our school board goals.
You accept the school board, the goals for the school board as shown in revision 1. With the amendments made to goal 3 as.
Scratching out to recognize staff accomplishments.
And shared by the superintendent.
We take that part out? As shared?
Recognize.
We did it over here.
Period.
Okay. Goal 3 then would read, board will reserve time at board meetings to recognize and appreciate community collaborations,
Just
recognize
collaborations.
collaboration. So goal 3, the board will reserve time at board meetings to recognize collaborations.
Recognize community collaborations.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Really just dig into this one. I will second the motion.
I have a motion to update the revised Port Orford-Langlois 2CJ school board goals. With goal 3 reading, the board will reserve time at board meetings to recognize community collaborations.
Period.
I have a second. Are we prepared to vote? Great. Calling that to a vote. All approved. Unanimous. Moving forward to staff survey for superintendent's evaluation, item 7.2. And this is primarily me. Having had further discussion with Vince Adams as well as Janet.
Via.
Thank you. It appears that we are very over our expenditures and should consider that. I have asked, I don't believe I have a response at this time. This morning, I asked for her to offer a scope of work that would reflect entirely virtual. And my hope within that is we would be able to take that window and put it more toward what our scenario would look like, and it would be a more accurate estimate.
Did we find out if it does in fact include the entire staff?
It includes those that we are able to collaboratively select as a board. It can include all staff that could be selected. It could be the certified, it could be our classified.
Jury selection.
That's how it goes, right?
What Janet, what I took from what Janet said is that you do pick and choose, but you're picking and choosing based on people who would likely have knowledge of my work in a certain situation.
I think the concern we had was paying such a large amount of money to only survey a small handful of people. We wanted.
This can include teachers. It is something that you work together to identify those people, but no one is immediately excluded.
Okay.
They're all available or included within that pool to be selected.
And I think as you go through that, whoever's here, Janet would probably be one of them, or maybe they have somebody else that services us, but they would be asking those questions about who would those relevant people be, because I think when they have it go through everybody, they get a lot of responses that aren't relevant or people don't know because they're removed from that direct contact with me while I'm doing my work for the district.
We don't want to pay for the I don't know answer.
That was her opinion. But I think those are things to, if you choose to go through that, those are things to work out and details to work out and share concerns as you build the process.
We're still talking about the 26-27 school year, right?
Correct.
Yeah. We're not talking about spending any money
We don't have
this cycle because we don't have it.
But now we know exactly how much we don't have. And we know that we've asked for the estimate to be more accurate, or at least more accurate for our scenario.
The estimate from OSPA.
Yes.
So this is not an action item then?
No.
This is an
Next year
update.
item.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
I think that was the potential action, was whether you wanted to move forward with it this year or not. If your discussion with finances says no, then at some point you're going to have to make a motion that says, yes, we are going to move forward with this, and when.
And it sounded as if that's something that we actually should be considering before the school year is through, is identifying the tool and then being able to have those conversations with OSBA to start that so that it's not too late in the cycle.
And her feelings were June or July was the time to start it, so you have everything in place and done when you hit the school starting. Yeah.
And also be aware that we have that money in our board budget to be able to do it.
Yes.
This is not the first time we've been through this, so it's sort of, I guess
It's just an update. If we have questions and we should.
Yeah, and the conversation with
Now
Janet
we
just happened today.
really know.
See an ongoing conversation. Questions arise.
Are we ready for a motion? I would make a motion that we plan towards doing this survey in the 26-27 school year. And look to include it, get a good estimate and include it in the budget, or does that not really need a motion at this point?
You know,
Maybe not an urgent.
When we decide to actually purchase it.
yeah, and having them out, but it will be helpful to know what that amount is, so we can embed that in the budget for next year as we plan the next month or so.
Or the board has to decide what we're going to trade off. We can't send it to people to conference or what, how we do that.
Although we just passed goals that people attend
Webinars.
and, yeah. Annually, 4 of it.
I'm on a webinar.
we were doing that.
Yeah,
Well, I think something we're doing.
yeah, but I'm saying that all will need to be reflected in that school board budget. Because
Yeah.
now that as we're becoming more active,
Gotcha.
we're gonna have to start balancing going to annual convention, doing
$1,000 for the
policy review.
Right.
You know, board surveys, all of that. So
I'll make a motion that we have a bake sale.
Okay. Then we do not require a motion for 7.2. If you would like to review what was offered from Tara, I will do my best to translate it, but you could also write the question on there for Tara when she comes
It's
back.
not your main, our business is like work.
Then moving on to our reoccurring business, 8.1, school board timeline update and review. We are moving towards a conference, scheduling a work session, and the February 23rd board meeting, which will have an executive session.
Yes, February, you will hear about renewals, non-renewals, and where we're headed with that, because we have to make that determination official with any employees that were non-renewing by March 15th. So that will be on the agenda in February.
So what we need to do here is to choose specify a day for the work session.
Yes.
And that work session is our second data.
Data review. It seems as if this 5 o'clock time does seem to work for most people, even if we're hungry.
I am, just to keep things difficult, I am out of town between the 9th and the 20th. Yeah, sorry. I'm home on the 20th, so if you want.
I hope so, because she's gone. No, that's April. Never mind.
So.
But I can watch the recording if it works better to go ahead.
I am not here Friday, the 20th.
It sounds like we need to be in the top half of the month.
Yeah, what about that? Right, so how about Monday the 2nd? That's next Monday. Is that enough time?
No, I got to tell Title I and Ms. Williams and Ms. Wendell so that they can be prepared.
Would Thursday night be doable?
I think. going for those 2 weeks. So realistically, we're looking at after our next meeting, is that?
That's what it looks like to me. Yeah.
Agreed.
So-
If it goes into March, that won't be the end of the world on our end.
Yeah, well, with our board meeting, what about March the 2nd?
I've got school board written down,
On March the 2nd?
4:30 to 5:30.
Oh, you have an agenda setting meeting.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's what that one is.
Ta-da.
I see it in mine. She must have set that for us today.
I do
Way
remember.
to May,
All
apparently.
the way to May. Okay, there you
We
go.
got into that.
Monday, March 9th?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
second
5
night
o'clock.
works for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
Monday, March 9th, 5 PM. Day. Right.
Just mark off the work session for February.
Should we be considering our April session based on that?
Yes.
Because we will have another work session and an executive session focused around our superintendent evaluation
April.
and our district goals.
So 18. The second Monday. So for April to be determined.
So the exec session would happen at your regular board meeting, most likely. Your work session would be your prep work to do that.
We have a budget meeting too.
Budget meeting would happen at the beginning, or we'd have a regular meeting, and then you'd have executive session to discuss my evaluation.
Can we add the executive session to a workshop so that it's not?
Well, your workshop is where you're gonna come up with my evaluation. Are you gonna be ready to share it with me when you're done? I think that would be the issue.
No, because the chair has to formally
Compile
pile it up, what was said to present the formal evaluation in the board packet.
There's a training session for that, right?
Will you have a vice chair to help us?
I'm done. Then April, we can return to it, but it does seem as if it would be more respectful to our schedules.
Well, 6th. Okay. For the work session before the. I should make sure we have enough time.
So April to be determined, you could go to 6.
The executive session and work session, I think that's fine.
I think just the work session, I think the executive.
Not the, and the executive session after
Could
the
be
budget
a-
meeting.
Well, I think that work session has to be an executive session because we're discussing.
Oh,
Agreed.
you're,
the-
yep,
the
that's
goals,
fair
so-
enough.
Right,
Yes.
but it's an executive work session.
So April 6th for the executive work session at 5 PM.
Mhm.
Does this work for everyone?
Yes.
Fine.
But then we also are going to discuss district goals at that time. That part should then be a public work session.
Yes, that part does need.
So that's why it's 2 things.
Okay.
Should we note that our budget meeting will be in conjunction with our board meeting on the 20th? Is that the
Yep.
idea?
Just
Yes,
in there, we can
that's, that is typically,
Yeah.
each budget meeting is set around one of your board meetings.
So we can just mark out TBD and we just put the 20.
Yeah.
So when we hit budget committee meeting times, 5 o'clock would be, or still be our starting point. But we'll start with budget committee, and then the regular meeting would start after the budget committee.
Just scheduled to start at 4:30.
Well, that's at this point, we could still go at 5 and start budget committee, or you could go with your regular meeting time and have budget committee at 4:30 if you wanted. But that's getting early for some
It seemed
people.
like before, the only thing we did on that meeting was agree on the calendar for the rest of the meeting, so it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was pretty quick, because we sat around and waited. Because we didn't. Oh, right. Yeah, we couldn't start the meeting until.
Because we didn't have a
scheduled
forum
time.
and waiting to the time.
Yeah. So I would say just sign up.
Our policy states
Yeah.
8 or 9 o'clock is the last, I think, 9 o'clock.
There is a line in there about how late it is.
3 hours. I
Unless you come to an agreement that you extend it.
feel like at 3 hours.
Nope, it's work happened.
It's funny. I just feel like things don't. They're not quite as accomplished. Yeah.
The productivity goes down a little.
I'm usually in bed by 8 o'clock, okay?
I start looking at the clock at 7:30 and I can tell you right now it's 7:28.
Yeah.
So the calendar's okay though?
Yep, I think that sounds good.
That's-
So April
Yeah,
6th,
that's pretty.
April 6th, you're having,
April 6th and April 20th.
good work.
Okay. I forgot that. Did not.
And I'm just going back to this, the budget calendar I have says 4:30, so we're agreeing that we're starting the budget at 5 o'clock and then we'll go into the school board meetings after we're done with
What I'm hearing.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm
Do we
hearing.
need to vote on that?
Yeah, so we moved it down.
Not if you're not paying attention.
We approved,
tell them if they're not paying attention.
because I thought we approved the budget committee calendar and budget committee calendar says 4:30.
Then what I said, I misspoke. So that would, so right now you are meeting at 4:30 with budget members and then our meeting starts at 5.
So
Is that
that,
right? Is that what it says?
it does say 4:30 and I would,
So maybe we just need to make a motion to revise the budget calendar. Can we do that?
Sure.
Hmm?
Yep, we can
I'll
do
make a
that.
motion. Budget.
Second,
That's what I wrote down.
the motion and a second to move the budget committee meetings to 5 o'clock. Our regular meetings follow directly.
Second. Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Oh. Any other discussion besides Charlie horses? Okay, bring that to a vote. All in favor of updating the budget calendar to reflect the time change to 5 o'clock? In favor? 2, 4, 5, all unanimous. Yeah. Seeing. We don't need a motion on 8.1, seeing no policies for first or second reading. Brings us to board comments and reports.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Because a little bit earlier, there was a side conversation and a question asked about when we have people in the Zoom, because tonight there were several people in our Zoom meeting. And there was a question about why we don't listen to the chat and look at the chat. And anyway, my comment back was because we have a specific place in our agenda for public input, and to be listening to chat during the meeting is being influenced by public input. And so if people were in our Zoom meeting and they wanted to make a comment about something we were discussing for the night, we're not listening to the chat because that's considered a public input. But if they want to bring those comments to the public input of our next board meeting, that would be my understanding of the process for them to have their comments listened to. And I just want to clarify that so that we can educate our community on how they can participate when they're hearing us have a discussion and they have comments on it. And so I'm directing that. I didn't. I wasn't looking at the screen, but someone else saw something on the screen
Okay.
and was asking me why we're not looking at the chat and stuff. And so,
Procedural and time.
yeah. And so, I don't know if just having this conversation is a way to educate anyone who still may be on our recording and stuff, but
I think it might be brought up, when you talk about it in the beginning, when we talk about public. If you had a question from last session, you could bring it up now. Or something like that.
yes. But I think we also need to educate the people who are on today. If there was chat, I didn't see the chat, so I don't know what was in the chat. But some process of educating our community that if they have those comments, to come back to the next board meeting and speak in public input.
Because that is the discussion time in our meeting for public
Yes,
is
for
public
the
input.
public input.
Or we have somebody place in the chat at the beginning of the meeting that public comments are only available
During public input.
at public input portion, which we can't give a time for because.
Yeah, it just happens. And I think that's great in the future, but I'm saying for the people who took the time to attend tonight's meeting, who had comments supposedly in the chat, I don't know what the protocol is to possibly reach out and somehow educate the community. If you had comments in the chat and you're wanting to know why they weren't listened to, it's because that's public input. And please come back and share during public input at the next meeting. Considering some of the topics we were discussing tonight.
Hopefully that's clear for folks. We do welcome your comments. I feel as if the beginning of stating in order to speak during public comment, please sign up in the chat portion of Zoom or the sign up sheet with the administrative assistant in the physical meeting is sufficient. But if there's chat that's happening in there, my perspective is that chat is for the people on the Zoom, not for the board members.
Right, because that's public input and it can influence the meeting as there must be something said in a chat room, but we're not opening that avenue to people that are physically in the room. And so that to me is not an ethical equity opportunity for our public to comment. And so I'm just wanting to make sure that if something was being chatted about tonight, somehow those people learn they are welcome to come back to public input of our next school board meeting if there was something that they had strong public opinion about that they wanted to share with us.
This would also segue well to item 12, correspondence. That directing things towards the district office would be where we would direct things. Unless this was a thing specific and they would go to the teacher
Or
and
the
to the building
principal,
supervisor.
Chain of command.
I, on item 12, would like to extend my gratitude to Lisa Wendell and to Aaron Miller for responding swiftly and appropriately to our neighbor who expressed a concern about the lights. Any other correspondence or future agenda items?
What was it that we tabled? The turning point.
Future agenda item would reflect, yes, 7.
Chapter approval
or
of turning point.
3.2.
Or Americana, Club America.
We've also tabled swearing in MJ till February.
It's gonna be fun. I have to remember my name.
And you will have the approving of the minutes from the January work session will be there also. That was tabled till the, I think those were the 3 things.
Being no executive session, I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. I have a second. Any discussion? Meeting to adjourn. Thank
You all.
you.